What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Game Speak. My name is Fake Thriller, and as always, I am joined by Mr. Shnu 603.
What's going on?
So today we have some topics for y'alls, mostly about first-person shooters. I think we're going to talk a little bit about Battlefield 4. There's been a lot of new information that has been sort of revealed, and I guess a better word might be clarified. And we're going to give our thoughts on some of that. But first, before we get into that, we're going to hit everybody's favorite topic, which is none other than Call of Duty. So Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer was just revealed earlier this week. And I think most of you don't care anything about Call of Duty, but it's something that we've always played, and it's something that I'm interested to talk about. So I want to get at least, Snoop, what are your thoughts, initial impressions? Tell me your experience with Ghosts.
If this were 2008 and this were the follow-up to Call of Duty 4, I'd be fucking stoked. But as it is, this game is 5 years too late. Minimum.
Yeah.
It's... You know what really stuck out to me? And it's one of those, okay, you can say they technically have a tried and true, not program, but a tried and true formula for what they build for their games. And it's a cash cow for them. But that's the thing. I feel like they're too afraid to stray from what they've always done and try and actually be really innovative and creative and really, give you a better experience in the game. Because what they've always done has just provided them a shit ton of money. And that's really all they care about at the end of the day.
Well, and that like, I don't want to get into like video game development philosophy or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure that they're very self-aware at this point, and they know that they just have a cash cow in their hand, and they're going to make a fast, aggressive first-person shooter that appeals to the biggest audience possible, and they're going to get as many people to play it as possible, kind of a thing.
You mean appeals to the lowest common denominator?
I mean, I guess that's two ways of saying the same thing, right?
Yeah, pretty much. You know what really stuck out about me? Because I was like, you know what? I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to watch it. I kept telling myself this. I didn't want to have any interest in this whatsoever because of being burned too many times with previous Call of Duty titles. I mean, Black Ops 2, I was adamant. I was not going to get this game. I didn't want to pay $60 for it. And then I got a $50 gift card. I was like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. For $10 out of my own pocket, I'll give it a shot. And I still think I overpaid for it with that $10. But I saw Jack Frags put up a video, and I was like, all right, you know what? Jack Frags is a great guy. I respect his opinion and everything. I'll listen to... I'll see what he has to say. And I'm watching the gameplay, and the thing that stuck out to me most was the game sounds. How the fact that the game sounds in Call of Duty have sucked for fucking ever. And they were god-awful. And they got even worse with Modern Warfare 3. And they still sound the same fucking way.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling how your gun sounds don't sound like a fucking gun. It sounds like you've got a glass jar with a couple of nails and a fucking steel shot in there or something, and you just shake it around really fast.
Yeah, it's like they had to go and create gunshot sound effects somehow, but they didn't have gun.
Right.
So.
It's like they asked someone who's literally never heard a real fucking gunshot before in their life, or even watched a decent movie.
It's like they just had to fabricate a gunshot, and they're like, yeah, that sounds like a gun, and when it's lined up and synced up with the animation on screen, it'll look like a gun, and it'll sound like a gun, so yeah, that's good enough. But yeah, I know what you're saying. It's like kink. It's like this weird, it's not very authentic feeling.
No.
Or sounding.
No, and it's, I don't know, it's just one of those... The game is too simple now to even have any of my attention. And just seeing... I gave Jack Fragg's video about 3 minutes of my time. And even at that point, I was like, dude, there's nothing you can say to get me even remotely interested in this. I'm so done with that series and that franchise. And, I actually was talking about this on Twitter, and I was talking, not ranting, guys. I know some people are always like, Snoop, all you do is get pissed and rant. And no. That's just the way you guys like to take it. So anyway.
No, you guys shut your fucking mouths. You don't know me.
Actions speak louder than words, and I've always said that, if you don't agree with something that a company's doing and you feel that strongly about it, then don't support them. And I'm just, I'm a little ant in a big-ass group of people that's trying to wave, its arms around trying to get attention. That's the significance I have to Activision. I mean, I'm even less than that. I'm the parasite on the ant. they're not going to care. What I'm doing has no bearing whatsoever on how they act with their company or the game moving forward. But at least I feel better about myself knowing that, you know what, I don't agree with what they've done with the franchise. I'm, as a former fan of Call of Duty, I'm upset that they have failed to make any significant movement, progression with the game moving forward. So I'm just, you know what, I refuse to support a company that remains stagnant.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm, as a consumer buying video games, I'm technically kind of like an investor, and I refuse to put my money into something that I see as a failing business model.
So the biggest thing that I took away from it, because it's funny that you sort of harp on the sound a little bit, because, and I'm not like a graphics whore, but the biggest thing that I took away from the gameplay I've seen so far is the overall visuals look just downright ugly to me. The art scheme that they chose for the HUD, and it's like this weird digital numbering and lettering, and the colors they chose just seem really flat, and it just looks really bleh. Like, it doesn't have that cool futuristic feel that Modern Warfare 2 had, and even Black Ops 2 just pulled it off really well last year. Because the game looked good, at least Black Ops 2 looked good in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
From what I'm seeing now, from just like usually like the user HUD and everything like that, it looks kind of crappy. I don't know if I'd get the game. I'm kind of a sucker for popular games on release day. Like, I just say, nah, I'm not going to get that. And then all of a sudden I'm at Walmart that day saying, like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. What the hell? It's like watching, like, classic movies. You got to, even if you're not interested in the movie, you're way better off for the rest of your life having seen those movies for all the pop culture references that are going to fly around you. So it's like having a decent knowledge of what's going on in the current COD is always useful when you're in the video game industry or video game media industry.
That's true.
But
still not enough to make me buy it, though.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. I think that's enough about Call of Duty, because there's plenty of different things that we could talk about it, but,
Right, no, that's not important, nor is that the point of what we were going to. We just wanted to, I know that a lot of guys are going to be like, what's your thoughts, Shustybang, on Call of Duty Ghosts? Well, there it is. Now you guys know where we stand on it.
That being said, though, I am not a stubborn person when it comes to being proven wrong, when it comes to being entertained. If something turns out to be well worth my time, I won't just cross my arms and put my nose up because I once said I wouldn't touch it. Like, if it somehow proves to me that it's the best game out there, I'll go and play it.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you there. I'd do the same thing.
Yeah, it all depends on what the future holds, though. So that's enough Call of Duty. Let's move into Battlefield 4. Earlier this week, they revealed a whole bunch of information on the Battlefield blog, including new high-res screenshots of the player models. Did you see those?
Yes, I did.
Looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, it looks very fancy.
Do you have any, like, how deep do you want to go into what they sort of revealed? Do you have any big points you want to hit?
Yeah, actually, one of the things that I really liked was their talk about, looking at the blog itself right now. And for any of you that don't know, EA has this blog going on. It's called The Road to Battlefield 4. And this is their latest post. It was actually just yesterday, on the 15th of August. And it was, the title was The Road to Battlefield 4 Tweaked to the Core. And one of their main points that they wanted to talk about was the quest for mobility. Battlefield 3 has always been centered around being a very team-based game. They make team play, they make that a priority, and they always want everyone to kind of really focus on that. But unfortunately, a lot of the good team accessories, if you will, that you would want to use to really help out your team, and which actually could get you a lot of points, made it so that you were stationary, and no one really wanted to play that like that. Because Battlefield 3 was actually a very, very mobile game, constant movement and stuff, because big maps and just a lot going on. So that's one of their goals, and actually I'm very, very excited to hear about that, is everything that they're trying to implement and rebalance and tweak for Battlefield 4 is intended to still allow you to be mobile, so nothing holds you back, so you don't have to worry about I'd really like to use that because it'd be really, really helpful for the team, but I gotta sit all the way back here and use it to be effective. They're trying to eliminate that aspect of it, and that, to me, being a very impatient and run and gun type of player, is very, very exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be huge if they pull it off, which it seems like they're on the right track to getting the game to... I mean, essentially it means quicken the pace of the game by keeping as many players in the action as possible at all times, right?
Correct.
That's what it's translating to.
Yep.
And what it's going to do is hopefully the reputation that the Battlefield series seems to carry on itself. I think it really got really strong in the Bad Company 2 days was spawning in your spawn and having to run for 3.5 minutes before you get to the fight. Which, anybody who's actually played Battlefield 3 knows that that's not necessarily really ever the case. If you make a bad decision and spawn at the Russian spawn when your team is pressed all the way up on the last MCOMs, then you're an idiot. And yeah, you're going to have to run all that way. But if you play the game the right way, the game moves fast. Just as fast as Call of Duty, easily. So I think refining these few last things as far as what you can do, like infantry gadgets and stuff like that, to keep you in the action while you're using it, then that's a great move by them. And it'll just be like the cherry on top of the excellent Battlefield 4 Sunday.
Oh, yeah. So what else is there to talk about? I don't know how to handle this part because I'm excited and I'm really nervous at the same time. And it has to do with the choosing your path, the field upgrades, the new perk system.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how this is going to work. I understand that you get sort of points based on what your squad does, and that unlocks new items that you select.
Yes, so the best way I can explain it, and I really hope that I didn't misunderstand this and I'm giving you guys inaccurate information, but as I understand it, where they're doing away with Battlefield 3's current squad perk system, where everyone picks their own individual perks, and I mean, you could, if no one's paying attention, have 4 people with squad sprint, which doesn't, help. You only get the 1 bonus, and then the other 3 people are wasting those squad perks. So with Battlefield 4, they're making it kind of like a tiered ranking squad perk system, where you get to pick an actual path of 4 squad perks that you want to get. And as you and your squad itself does well, you get points towards that. So, one of the things is you can go with an offensive path or a defensive path. And, it starts with 1 perk, and as you get more points, you open the second one, and then as you get more points, it makes the third one, kick in, and so forth, all the way up to a total of 4. So offense, if you go the offensive path, it starts with sprint, and then it goes to ammo, more grenades, and reduced fall damage, which I think is kind of silly in Battlefield, but whatever. All I can think of is Commando Pro from Modern Warfare 2 right now. But then there's the other one where it's the defensive path, and that goes armor, then cover, then flak, and then quick regen, which just makes you, that's pretty self-explanatory, your health regen's a lot faster. So it's not just a matter of pick one and go through it. There's preset perk paths that you get. And I don't really know how I feel about that because you think about it, and yeah, offense would be nice. Like you start out with sprint, and you're gonna get more ammo as you go along and do better, and you get more grenades as you get better, and then you're gonna reduce fall damage as you get better. Which again, I think is kind of silly. That's like to me a throwaway one. How often are you actually falling off a building that you need the reduced fall damage? Right, like it happens, but not that often where you're like, oh fuck, I really wish I had reduced fall damage.
I have a hard time pulling up with my parachute. I tend to sink into my knees every time I hit the ground.
But so like I have a hard time envisioning myself, kind of in the future here playing Battlefield 4. Like, why would I choose that when I could definitely go with defense, and I could always use all 4 of those the entire time I'm playing? Like, just looking at it right now, trying to be as like objective as possible, it's like, why would anyone want to use the offensive one? There's not that much benefit to it, whereas there's nothing but awesome benefit to using the defensive path. So how do they balance these out?
I don't know. I think any of the actual like perks, as we're calling them, will play a relatively minor role. I don't think they're gonna necessarily be like kill streaks from Call of Duty or anything like that.
Right, well, no, but it's just a matter of you are getting some sort of bonus to your character, and even if it's small, it's still a bonus. And if you're using the defense versus someone's offense, like, okay, so put them up together, head to head. You are going the offensive path, I'm going the defensive path. You have sprint, I have armor. And we have the same guns. Who's going to win? Probably me.
Yeah.
And then you go up next. So now you have more ammo, but I have cover. So
this was
I'm gonna
actually a
benefit.
big this was a big topic on Reddit talking about taking armor out of the game because it creates the sorry to continually reference Call of Duty, but it creates the stopping power juggernaut effect.
Yep,
where
definitely.
In order to counter Juggernaut, you need to run stopping power, or else it's almost impossible to kill somebody in a respectable amount of time. And that's not necessarily something that we want to see in Battlefield. We don't want engagements to be dictated by pre-game perks. We want the in-game situation to dictate the in-game situation combined with the people involved. Their skill level needs to be the only thing that dictates the outcome.
Exactly.
So having perks, sort of pulling the strings behind the curtain, is something that hopefully will be implemented the right way and to a degree where it won't overly affect the game, because that'll just be frustrating for everybody.
Yep.
So
I gotta say, everything on my part was all speculation. I mean, for all we know, these could be very, very minor kind of differences or perks that we get. Everything that changes about your character could be very minor. So, you get armor. It could mean, just a very, very minimal thing. Maybe instead of taking 25 damage from an assault rifle inside of 12 meters, maybe it dumbs it down to like 23 or 24. So they need a fifth bullet to kill you instead of just 4. So it's minor things. Whereas something like Juggernaut in Call of Duty 4, that way. It took, another 2 or 3 shots to kill someone?
Yeah, but I like what you're saying in your first example, because if it moves the damage down from 25 down to like 23, then the only time it really will play a role is when it's 100% health. Because if you take, because then it's only like 5 extra hit points, 4 or 5 extra hit points.
Yeah, so it's essentially 1 extra bullet.
Yeah, so but then you're at 20 hit points of overkill. So if someone's even injured the slightest bit, then it doesn't even make that much of a difference. So that's what we mean by a minuscule effect that won't break the game.
Right.
A fifth bullet probably wouldn't even go unnoticed, because I know I rarely pull the trigger and have 25 rounds left in the magazine.
Right. Well, it's one of those. It depends, because it depends on your accuracy. We're talking like the difference of 4 hits on target to get the kill and 5 hits on target to get the kill. And if you've only got 20% accuracy, that means 1 out of every 5 bullets you're firing is actually hitting your target.
Right.
So, you're saying
30-round magazine.
Exactly. Now, generally, it could take you, if you're at 20% accuracy, it's taking you 20 bullets to kill someone. Now you're up to 25.
Right.
If it takes that 1 extra bullet. So, I honestly, this can work. It just depends on how it's all going to work out. As far as, we need to see the specifics. We need to see some stats as to what's going to do what and how does it affect you and so on and so forth. Because right now, I'm kind of guarded. Like, I'm excited that they're making the perk system actually, not really unique, but different. They're making it a little bit more useful, I guess, and it'll eliminate the need to worry about, I got some random person on my team with the same squad perk as me, so I'm not going to waste that. I got to change mine now, and so on and so forth. But the potential for this to be not game-breaking, but an issue that everyone could be slightly concerned with is there. And until we start seeing some statistics covering what exactly is going to happen, I'm guardedly optimistic about this.
Yeah, that's the big takeaway from all this. This is just speculation for the most part, and since we are currently in good favor with Battlefield and we like it, we will remain optimistic.
Yeah, exactly.
If we didn't like the game, then it would be the dumbest thing ever. But I think we've rambled for quite a bit. We didn't cover nearly all of the news that happened this week, but we got our opinions out on a lot of stuff. So maybe, actually, next week is probably going to be wicked busy too because of Gamescom. So we'll clean up a little bit in the next episode next Saturday if you guys want to stay tuned. Snoop, I know you like to leave a message for some people to type if they want to if they want to let us know that they made it to this point. Do you?
I think this time we're going to have to make it about you, because I don't know if you noticed, but last week's comment section was nothing but Snoofire disappoint. And I was like, that was actually not a smart message on my part.
Well, we did the League of Legends one, and then a whole bunch of people wrote Legal Legends.
Right, but a lot of people wrote both, but everyone for some reason decided they wanted to start with Snoofire disappoint, even though it was the second secret message.
Well, who cares? Do you have one?
Yeah, fake thriller is the cat's meow.
Yeah,
I like that. That's a good secret message. That's gonna throw a lot of people through the loop.
Nice.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. We will be back obviously next week with the Game Speak episode 7 at that point. And I'm not sure what we're gonna cover because it's always just a wild card. It's whatever catches our fancy when the time comes up. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys later.
Later, guys.